And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the extended delays, for the extended break, but we have returned with the lower bracket finals. You just got an update, and Fanatig did take down Flexi 1-0, which means we're down to 3 players remaining in this Polish monthly tournament. We have Aristri waiting in the grand finals, and we have these 2 players duking it out in a best of 3 to determine who advances on to face up against Aristri in those finals. So 3 players are left, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner, going for a 15-15, we have the blue Zerg player representing CSO Esports from the land of Poland. It is Trifax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the yellow Protoss player representing Team Sentinels of Mirage, the Polish Protoss. It is Fanatig. And it feels good to be back. We have returned to the land of Submarine. Oh boy, this used to be a terrifying map. Shortest rush distance by map in the, at the time, map pool. I believe this was one of the shortest rush distance maps in all of Legacy of the Void, but that was superseded by Beckett Industries. I remember Beckett Industries was in the season after this, and it had an even shorter rush distance than this because of the speed zones. Crazy. Absolutely insane. Vetoed Beckett Industries instantly. And this map as well. This map was back in the rotation back in 2020, I believe. Back in 2020. Beginning of COVID, if I recall correctly. So it's been a while, and again, the rush distance by ground is very short here. Doesn't take long at all whatsoever to go from one end to the other end of the map, so aggression is favored. You can split the map in half, as there are some ramps and choke points here in the center, so there are plenty of kind of defendable locations that you can stop your opponent from moving out on. I'm feeling like Roach versus Linkstalkers. You can try to like engage here in the center and stop each other and slow each other down. That is possible if we do get there. For now though, 15-15. Very safe opener out of Trifax. Is going for delayed gases, but is going for his natural base on location. From here, he should be able to expand and take his third. Likewise, Fanatig opening up aggressively. Oh my god, going for a Twilight Council opener. Now, I've casted Fanatig in the past, but tonight has been popping off. I've been very impressed. Very impressed with the scoreline here. Fanatig, he was able to bring down Jomek, bring down Snogstar, and bring down Flexi. I would say that Jomek and Snogstar are higher rated than Fanatig, so for him to win those games is very impressive indeed. So I'm happy to indulge myself and embrace this longer series, this best of 3. Let's go. For now, gonna be a Twilight Council opener. With this, we're gonna be getting into, I imagine, Glaive Adepts, as we have not pulled out a gas, so this could be DTs, could be a Dark Shrine instead. Never mind, Glaives, we're kind of figuring it out. We're a little bit indecisive, but there we go. It is going to be a Glaive Adept opener here. Oh, Glaive Adept opener from Fanatig is going to be committing. Now, because he hasn't pulled out a gas, I expect this to be a little bit more committed. Would you have 1 gateway done? A second gateway is in production as we speak for our Protoss player. There it is, additional gateway production here for Fanatig. He's committing quite hard. 4 gates in total. Meanwhile, looking at Trifax, he has yet to really get an eye on this. He has yet to scout. Do have an Overlord outside of the natural base, but we haven't committed into the main. Not yet, at least. We have yet to really get a read on what is going on. Robo has been thrown down. Still 4 gate glaives here from Fanatig. Taking an extra gas, guys. So this feels like either Dark Templar mixed in or maybe even another gateway. We shall see. As Trifax, he's just going to be droning on up. Did not throw down a safety Roach War. No safety Bailey Nest either. Just committing here to Lings. Just committing to Ling production. For the time being, at least. For the time being, as... yeah, we do have our Robo being thrown down. Additional pylons as well. Lings, they do get eyes on the third base, but we're still amassing Adepts, and I believe Trifax is still unaware. Still unaware. As Lings, they keep checking here that third base. Meanwhile, Adepts are shading across the map. Again, a really unorthodox timing here behind this Fanatic. His third base is under fire. He's working towards a Disruptor production. Disruptors on the horizon here as the Adepts, they do shade in. They threaten the shade. Queens, though, they do keep up. They do force this back. Behind this, Trifax working with his Roaches. Roach Warren is now done. Roach is on the way. Lings collapsing on these Adepts. They go for the surround. Yeah, we catch the Adepts. We will focus them down. They will go down one after the other. As we are forced to commit. And we do not do enough damage. This opener was not worth it. We get completely shut down. And with that, Trifax, he has momentum on his side. The third base is up, but not quite running. And I'm not too sure if we can actually saturate this. Trifax, there we go. He is moving out. The Nexus standing for the time being, but there is no shield battery, no overcharge. Without side defense, I am concerned. But Trifax, he's distracted. He's forced to come back home. Steps, they do come in. They do threaten that mineral line. Queens, they do keep up. And drones don't go down. Trifax, he's on 68 workers, over 3 base saturation. Looking solid here. Or just at 3 base saturation even. Fanatig is still trying to get himself up and running. Disruptors are on the way. They will help. That is true. We have Disruptors. We have Immortals. We just don't have much of a buffer. We don't have many gateway units. That is the problem. We barely have an army. We barely do have a standing army here. As an Overlord is going to be going down. Overlord does fall. You can see Trifax just massing up his Roaches, his Lings. Roach speed on the way, +1 melee, sorry, +1 range as well. Basically, we're waiting for the upgrades. Once they kick in, then Trifax, he can snowball out of control and move out. Fanatic, he does have a pretty high quality army though. Again, because of his opener, he didn't make a War Prism because you don't need one on Submarine. Colossus are on the way. We have, what, 2 Disruptors, 2 Immortals, 2 Sentries, 2 of everything. 2 of everything essentially here. As Fanatic is going to be pushing. Trifax. Oh, droning up to 75? Maybe a little bit too greedy. I am concerned by the droning here of Trifax, but he might be able to get away with it. As he's amassing more Lingbane Roach Ravager. I remember this position being brutal to push into because you can set up a surround. You can come in from behind quite easily. I remember a lot of attacks here, actually. It's all coming back. Again, after so long of this map pool being out of rotation. So long of this map being out of rotation. Adepts, they do shade in. Drones are going to be going down. At the same time, though, we engage with the main army. Bailings, they don't quite crash in. Never goes off. Zoning Trifax back. We get 3 drone kills. But only 3. As we clear, sorry, only 4 as we clean up those Adepts. But Fanatic, he's slowly building himself up. Meanwhile, Trifax still droning, by the way. This is crazy. Trifax still going to be droning. Getting up to almost 80 at this point. Fanatic pushing him to creep. Clearing his way through those tumors. We see Trifax setting up for a surround. They're collapsing on the army. No, because off. Big connection on the Ravagers. But the Melees, they collapse here on the Protoss army. We get a surround as well. The Colossus will survive, but we clean up the Gateway army. Most of it at least. Yeah, and Trifax, he barely forces us back. The Colossus is standing. The Vials! Ooh, they take down the War Prism. Just in time. And even though Fanatic, he's holding his own, we have reinforcements on the way. That's what matters. Is that Trifax has an economy. He's got 1,000 minerals in the bank. 500 gas. We are remaxing it with Lings, with Roaches, with Ravagers. Fanatic, he needs another base. He needs an army. He needs everything. But Trifax, he's already here. The Lings, they get us around. They collapse here on the Immortals. One Immortal gets picked up. Nova goes off. Big connection. Big connection with the Nova. We just rotate back around. We back off. We deny the 4th. And I don't see Fanatic expanding. I don't know how he can take a 4th base. We have a Ling scouting the left. We have the army on the right. Fanatic, he does have a good disruptor count. But we're just waiting for more Lingbane. Knocking down these rocks. Making it a little bit easier to engage in the center of the map. is going to be the goal here. As Banelings are rolling forward, Baneling speed is done. We're going for the mineral line. Never goes up. No! Oh my god, almost causing some friendly fire. Banelings, they crash in. They get 7 worker kills. Nothing amazing, but damage nonetheless. Causing a bit of chaos, causing some havoc. Rocks, again, are going down. As Fanatig is, again, going to be expanding towards the left. So far, unscouted, I believe, by Trifax. He doesn't get eyes on this yet. His Ling earlier did go down. He's going to be rechecking, though. Comes in with his Ling, shuts down at that Nexus. Oh, even the probes as well. Not like this. Not like this, Bappy. Yeah, Nexus is going to be cancelled. Guns up the pylon. At the same time, we do have a bit of a depth harass here towards us now. Towards the south. I almost said north, and I switched it to south. The brain, Bobby, it's struggling a little bit. The brain is struggling. It's been a long day. We take down both adepts. And again, I do feel like Trifax is giving Fanatic a lot of room right now. I'm sure we're denying the 4th, which is good. And we're taking him into Hive. We have Adrenal on the way. Greater Spire as well for Broodlords. We're taking, but at the same time, I feel like we could have collapsed on this earlier. This army is becoming terrifying. Colossus. How many Disruptors do we have? 6? 6 Disruptors, 3 Immortals. I feel like we need to trade soon. If we don't, Fanatic is going to max out. And if he maxes out, he can win. Like, he can win a fight and snowball out of control. Remember, Submarine has a very short rush distance by ground, so it doesn't take too long at all to get into the main. To get into these fringe bases. And to cripple the economy that you've worked so hard to build up. Yeah, Fanatic getting up to 180 supply. And Trifax, he's been maxed for quite some time. I know he has a little Ling Bane, but a couple of good Novas and we can win a fight. We can take it. Fanatic, he has a chance. But here we go, we're coming in from multiple angles. We're setting up for that surround. Nova goes up. Gets a Ravager. We got 5 Novas left. And here we go, we come in for the surround. Nova will connect with the Banelings. Big connections, but the Banelings, they crash on forward. They get a surround here. And we should collapse on the army. The Colossi go down. The mineral line, the Banelings, they crash into everything they can. The Stalkers will stand strong. But we're all in. We're completely all in. The 3rd base has fallen. There is no 4th. The Stalker army needs to push out and needs to do so much, but they're only Stalkers. If we survived with some of the Immortals and Colossus, then it'd be another story. We needed some better Novas there. As Trifax is in control, Nova goes up. Shaves off some Lings. GG gets called, and Trifax will take game number 1. GG. Does take a lead in this series, but as a reminder, it's a best of 3. It is going to be a best of 3 here, so Fanatic, he has a chance to fight back, to bring this back and force the ace match. The real question becomes, what map are we working with? I'm curious. Again, I did see someone in the chat asking about the map and being a little bit confused. For this tournament, for the Infolet Monthly Cup, we do use a custom map pool. It is a unique map pool. These are not necessarily the new, they're not new maps. Don't get this twisted. These are not new maps. These are old maps from years gone by. We feature maps like Abyssal Reef, King's Cove, Acid Plant, Submarine, Everdream, Blackburn, and Palladino Terminal. Speaking of, our next map has been chosen. Game 2 is going to be on Acid Plant. This map was in rotation back in 2018. It's been a couple of years. It's been almost 6 years. I know it has been 6 years. This map was in the map pool back in January of 2018. So 6 years ago, we were featuring this map. And I still remember laddering on it. I still remember. Good times. Ay. Good times, man. Again, Submarine, which was the game number 1, was active back in 2020. It was 2020 and leading into the first month, the first season of 2021 as well. So much more recent. So again, you should be more familiar with Submarine, but now we're loading into Acid Plan, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have our Polish Zerg player leading the series 1-0, representing CSO Esports. It is Trifax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Polish Protoss player, the yellow Protoss, representing Sentinels of Mirage. It is Fanatig. Here we go. Again, Acid Plan's a much older map here. Again, I still remember laddering on this way back in the day. Unfortunately, I've deleted most of my replays. I've deleted a lot. I do usually clear up my replays every couple of years. When was World of Sleepers? I still have replays from World of Sleepers, whenever that was. I'll look it up. World of Sleepers. That was 2019. There we go. Just before the COVID era of StarCraft. Trifax is coming for a proxy hatch. Okay. He's going hatch first back at home into a proxy, or into a hatch block here across the map as well. Great cheeky move here out of Trifax, forcing boys to be pulled. Yeah, 5 workers. Usually it's 6 probes off the mineral line. We do pull 5. And this is just a way to get ahead economically. Again, just a hatch, into gas, into pool. Or into pool, then gas. This is not for a rush. This is not for an all-in. This is just to disrupt the opener here of Fanatic. Force a reaction. We do see a second gateway and a cyber core on the way. And this will force out Zealots, but it also means that Fanatic can counterattack thereafter. Do have that spawning pool on the way, followed by the eventual gas geyser. There it is. We do force a cancel. And the drone, can we live? Can we get away? Oh god. As the drone does get caught, it is going to be killed. If it lived a little bit longer, we could have gone into the main, and we could have stolen the gas. We could have stolen that gas geyser, but that's a kill in the drone. And now Fanatic has quite a delayed expansion. A very late Nexus. Cybercore is done, Adepts are on the way. Now, this is the power spike of Fanatic, or this is his moment. We have 1 Zealot, and soon 2 Adepts. Our goal, get across the map, and kill some drones. Our goal is to punish the opener here of Trifax, and to try to force out Lings, force out Queens, and trade with the army, and now trade the Zerg player. So, now the pressure is on Fanatic, and he has potential. He has potential with the army. Zealot waddles on over. Adepts are on the way, shading across the map. See Trifax trying to set up here. Yeah, pulling off gas, just focusing on Ling speed. Prioritizing that instead. Zealot has arrived, just swiping away at the army. Here we go. So we are setting up. Now, fighting the Queen is probably not the wisest of choices here. How many Lings do we have? We have made 6 Lings so far. A 7th and 8th Ling on the way. Adepts trading with the Queen and making their way towards the middle line. They get a drone. Oh, not quite. They don't quite get the worker. Good control here out of Trifax. Does defend his mineral line quite well. Zoning back the army. Behind this, it is going to be a Twilight Count. Sorry, it is going to be a Stargate into Oracle production. Do try to push on forward. We get a tumor, but only a tumor. Not much else. Fnatic will pull back. Pull back for a moment as we... Oh! As we do threaten this shade. Again, now we're up to 3 Adepts. We have a little bit more firepower, and we are at least containing our opponent. Trifax does not have a third. We're stuck on 2 bases, no third base whatsoever, waiting for Link Speed to kick in, and then we can finally regain map control and expand. Speaking of expanding, Fnatic, soon to take his own third. Before the Zerg, oh my god. Nexus is on the way. Speaking of, where's the hatchery? Where is the hatchery? Now it's going to be in production. So delayed here for Trifax. So late in comparison. Lings, they do come in, they get the Zealots. They force the activation of the Pulsar Beam, but they don't get any Adepts. Lings still scurrying around. Adepts, they turn back around, and Fnatic, he is in an okay position. Down in probes, though. The probe count is the problem. We only have 36 workers still building up. Trifax happily droning, saturating his bases, oversaturating his natural, to eventually Maynard at the third. We'll see if Fanatic can do something about the economic situation, as he has now up to two oracles. I also forgot there are some gold bases in the center of the map. Unlikely to be taken, but the gold bases are there. This was back when the gold base was difficult to take. Nowadays, less so. Nowadays, it's more standard. As the oracles, they dive into the main base. There's a spore. No spore, but we take a lot of hits. Yeah, Fanatic not quite paying attention there. It does take some extra damage on those oracles. And Trifax is in a pretty damn good position. Is in a good position, but here comes the army. How much do we have? We're working with 5 adepts, 3 stalkers, 3 oracles. A decent setup here with the stasis traps as we push in towards the third base. And can we break through? Queens are in position. One drone gets targeted down. We're going for the queens. They are getting stuck with each other. Lings now flooding in. Do get an adept water at the stasis trap as it will go off. But the adepts are still focused down. We barely do not get the transfuse. 1, 2, 3 queens go down, and we do break in. Fanatic barely breaking through the defensive line, forcing out more queens, killing some workers. But there's no blink. There's no blink for the army. No, the stasis trap goes off. But we collapse on the stalkers. Big overextension here by Fanatic, bleeding out so many stalkers, and now we can go straight for the third base. There's a shield battery, soon to be a cannon. But we are vulnerable. And Trifax didn't lose that many workers. That's the problem here. His economy is still looking good. So Lings, they threaten the bases. Don't get much done. We'll deny the 4th. Try to at least. But I will say Fnatic has a pretty comparable economy. Like, 4th base now on the way. Trifax still hasn't saturated his own. 65 workers against 61. I mean, we're holding our own here. As long as we can get the 4th, though, as it is going to be cancelled. The Lings are wreaking havoc. They force that pulsar beam to be activated. Energy is wasted. And as a follow-up, we're getting into +1 Blink Stalkers. +1 Blink Stalkers on the way for Fnatic. Still trying to get his 4th. Again, he's got a decent economy, don't get me wrong. But tech-wise, that's the advantage of Trifax. Lair, Hydrogen is done. Ling Hydra, Ling Bane Hydra on the way. And this is ideal against Stalkers. This is going to be ideal for our Zerg player. Rushing into Ling Hydra, into Vipers, into Lurkers as well. Is going to be looking strong. And what does Fnatic have to work with? How can he keep up? I mean, what we need essentially is Storm or splash damage. Whether it's Colossus, Disruptors, or Storm, they all have their place, and either one would be good. But we have neither. Cannons are going to be able to help defend. They do chip away at the Lings. Speaking of the Lings, they are getting quite a lot of damage done here on the pylon at least. Pylon goes down, gateways are low. Gateways are low. This Trifax is amassing his army. There we go. He's done droning up to 80, and now we're focusing on Ling, Hydra, and army-wise, Fnatic just isn't there yet. Getting bled out a lot of units earlier. Wasn't able to trade. Banelings are now on the way. With Baneling speed. Now, these stasis traps are well placed. They are well placed. And does Trifax see? Not sure he does. Stasis trap going to be going off. Ling Bane rolls on forward anyway. We're going for the mineral line. And we're breaking on through. We get into the middle line. The probes are going to be going down. An insane amount of damage. 18 workers fall. At the same time, the Ling Hydra forcing back those Stalkers. We have the overcharge. The overcharge keeping that Archon alive. Putting in a lot of work here, but it looks like we have enough to overwhelm. Trifax snowballing out of control, collapsing on the army. breaking the Archon, breaking through the shield battery. GG gets called, and Trifax will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Trifax as he does take down his opponent 2-0, looking strong, looking dominant here in this series, and I just appreciate that we were able to feature some of these older maps. Did give a lot of nostalgia here. Fanatig, he had definitely, you know, some moments for himself, but it was a really shaky start just because of the hatch block. To be fair, he was able to deal some damage, yes, but he was never able to deal any economic damage. Trifax was slow to expand, but he wasn't really losing many drones. Like, he was able to maintain himself, and he was never really in any major trouble. He was in control. GG, well played. Congratulations to Trifax. With that, we have our grand finals. We have our finalists getting ready here. It's going to be a best of 7 between 2 Zerg players. Exclamation mark B. Exclamation mark B in the chat. We just had the lower bracket finals. Trifax tours Fanatig, and that means he moves on to the grand finals to face off against Aristory in a best of 7. Oh boy. A shout out to Fanatig though. Again, he had a really good run. He may not have taken the series, he may not have made it to the finals, but a really good performance nonetheless to make it this far. Very impressive. I am very impressed here with Fanatig, so hopefully we get to see more of him, and hopefully he has the motivation to continue to compete and improve. GG.